Alright, as I promised in previous lecture, we're going to create typing text animation with blinking cursor using CSS and JavaScript. At first, in this video, we will create typing text animation, and it will be done using JavaScript. As you see, we have here heading, which we created manually at the beginning of project. So I'm going to get rid of it from HTML document. I mean, to get rid of content and not entire element, because we need this div. Then open app.js file, which is empty for now. So we are going to create function which will manage displaying each character with some intervals, and besides that we will need to create two variables. First one will be used for content, I mean for text. As for second one, it will be a counter which will help us to display each character in a sequence. I'm going to use ES6 syntax, so let's create variable const heading and assign to it string value, which will be text that is going to be displayed. Please meet our team. Then create second variable. It should be let. Actually, this variable is going to be something like iterator. Let's call it I, and its initial value will be 0. I'm not going to explain in details what is the difference between let and const variables and how they work. For more information, again, you can check out our JavaScript course. Alright, now create function. We're going to use ES6 arrow function. Create const, call it typing, and assign to it arrow function. Inside that function, I'm going to use conditional if statement. In condition, we have to use property called length. Basically, this property is used with arrays, but besides that, you can use it with strings as well. So if we run in console, length of heading, right, console.log, heading.length, then inspect the page and click on console tab. So as you see, we have here 20. It means that string value consists of 20 characters, and actually there are including white spaces. So we're going to use this property in if statement as a condition, write I is less than heading.length. Let's just write this condition and I will explain it soon. Then we need to select heading element. For that, write document dot query selector. Select heading using class name heading. So if the condition is true, then we need to display characters on the page. And in order to do that in JavaScript, we have a property called inner HTML. And it should be equal to something that will manage displaying characters on the page in sequence. Let's write here heading and use one of the string methods called char_add. Actually, this method returns character of string and it takes as an argument 0 based index number. Let's go ahead and see how it works. Go to console and create variable, right, a equals to hello. Then in order to get, let's say, first character, we have to write a.char_add, and inside parentheses we need to indicate index number, in this case 0. So you see that we got h. In the same way, if we want to get second character, we need to insert here 1 and so on. So that's the way how char_add method works. And actually, that's why we set initial value of I variable as 0. In order to get first character, let's insert as an argument I. So according to this statement, we will get only just first character and nothing more, but we need to get all the characters in sequence with some intervals. So we need two things. First one is to increase I counter by 1 after each character. For that, we need to write I++. Actually, it's called JavaScript increment operator, which allows us to increase value by 1. And besides that, in order to display characters in sequence, I mean to add one character to another, we have to place here plus sign. Alright, let's call this function in order to execute code which we wrote here. Write typing with parentheses. So you see that we have here just first character. It happens because function is executed just once. So in order to play entire animation, we need to execute function over and over again until in if statement condition becomes false. For that we can use JavaScript built-in method called setTimeout. It can take two arguments. First one is function, write typing, and second one should be interval between executions of function. Let's insert here 150. Actually, this value indicates number of milliseconds. So as you see, now animation is working, letters are typing with some intervals. Alright, I hope that it was clear for you how this code works, but anyway, I'm going to explain it once again. So when function is called initially, I is equal to 0, condition in if statement is true, and we're getting first character on the page. Then I is increasing by 1, setTimeout function is executed, it calls typing function after 150 milliseconds. Then condition is again true and we're getting second character on the page. So it continues until I becomes equal to length of heading and actually condition becomes false. So that's the way how this simple JavaScript function works. I hope that it was interesting because you learned with a couple of lines of code how to create this nice animation. Alright, as we said, besides typing text, we will have blinking cursor. And in order to create it, let's move on to the next lecture.